Mirrors have always been innocent to most people, simple glass meant to show a face, a tool of vanity, something harmless. But those who have stared too long into one know they are far more than that. They are doorways, thin as breath, fragile as water, separating what is real from what only pretends to be. There was once a small antique shop on the edge of a forgotten town, the kind of place that smelled of old wood, dust, and memories best left untouched. In the corner stood a tall, ornate mirror framed in dark oak, carved with twisting vines and faces that seemed to smile faintly when no one looked directly at them. The shopkeeper never cleaned it, never priced it, and when customers asked if it was for sale, he always said the same thing: that one already has an owner. No one knew what he meant, until one autumn evening, when a young woman named Clara came in during a storm. The rain was heavy, the kind that swallows sound, and she ducked inside to escape it, drawn almost instantly to the mirror. It was perfect smooth glass without a scratch despite its age. She smiled at her reflection, but something in the way her mirrored eyes moved unsettled her. They seemed a fraction too slow, blinking a heartbeat after she did. She laughed it off, blamed the flickering light bulb overhead, and bought the mirror despite the shopkeeper's hesitation. That night, as thunder rolled outside, she set it up in her bedroom and watched herself brush her hair before bed. The reflection lagged again, but now she saw it clearly. Her own hand in the mirror paused mid-stroke while hers continued, and when the reflection finally moved, it smiled though her lips were still. The power went out, plunging the room into darkness except for the faint silver light reflecting from the mirror. She leaned closer. The glass shimmered faintly, as though it were rippling. Then she saw movement, not hers, not even behind her, but inside the mirror, deep in the reflection. Like something pacing in another room. She stepped back, heart pounding. The movement stopped. The reflection stared at her with perfect stillness, yet her eyes in the glass were too sharp, too aware. Then the reflection raised its hand, not in sync with her, but slowly, deliberately, pressing its palm against the other side of the glass. For reasons she couldn't explain, she lifted her own hand to meet it. The glass was warm. Then she felt it pressure pushing back, a hand meeting hers from the other side. She screamed and stumbled back, knocking over the lamp. The mirror trembled, a faint tapping coming from within, as if someone were knocking to be let out. When she switched the lamp back on, her reflection stood perfectly normal again. Only her eyes were slightly different, brighter, almost alive. She tried to convince herself she imagined it, but in the following days, things began to change. She would catch her reflection smiling when she wasn't, tilting its head the wrong way, or watching her even as she turned away. At night she heard soft scraping sounds from the mirror, like fingernails against glass. Once, half asleep, she woke to find her reflection sitting upright while she lay still. It was watching her. The next morning, the mirror had moved an inch closer to her bed. Clara tried covering it with a blanket, but in the morning, the blanket was neatly folded on the floor, and a faint handprint lingered on the inside of the glass. Desperate, she called the antique shop, but no one answered. When she returned there in daylight, the shop was gone, the building abandoned. Dust thick on the counters. Only the empty frame of another mirror leaned against the wall, cracked in the center. On the floor was a note written in faded ink: "Never stand too close after midnight. The reflection remembers when you don't." That night she smashed her mirror, every piece scattering across the floor like shards of frozen water. She felt relief until she saw one fragment glint under the bed, her reflection staring up from it, not frightened, not angry, just smiling. The next morning, Clara's apartment was empty. The mirror shards were gone. But sometimes, in the antique shop that no longer exists, people walking past its boarded windows swear they see a woman's face reflected faintly in the glass, smiling with eyes too bright to belong to this world.